Hi everyone, Matt Waldron here from Level Next Leadership. I love this topic of finding your professional true north, and it's such an appropriate time of the year to think about this. I've got a couple of models that I want to show you through this presentation today, which I hope will really practically help you find that one thing that's going to really get you the breakthrough this year. I love this quote: when you are clear about your strengths and what you have, and when you express them consistently in your leadership, you will be a more effective leader. Why? Because you will spend less time doing things that wear you down and more time doing things that you will enjoy. Sounds like great news to me. Enjoy the presentation. So this one here, the sweet spot model, is the first model we're going to look at. And it's designed to help you go on a bit of a self-discovery exercise to find your current professional true north. This is a really simple model. And in the field workbook by Bill George, the Discover Your True North, he does a real deep dive into the whole idea of authentic leadership and discovering your values, your crucibles, looking at your past story of life to really find out and help you move towards understanding what is your sweet spot when it comes to living your true professional north. And you can see from this model here, it's pretty simple to understand. Taking some time to answer that question: what do you love? What are you interested in? What are you passionate about? Now, what comes easy for you? What do you seem to do that you touch and it turns to gold, but other people struggle to do it? Other people will tell you what you're good at. You can ask them. What pays well? See, a lot of people forget about that. A lot of people go after what they love and what comes easy to them and where there's kind of a real flow. But they forget that actually earning an income and having money is a really important thing to look after yourself and your family, but also to be able to give back to the community as needed. Now you can see here with this model, if you do what you love and what pays well, then you can be potentially miserable. If you only do what comes easy to you and what pays well, then you lack passion, and eventually it's not really sustainable. What you love and what comes easy, that one's not sustainable either. It's about answering those three questions and taking half a day out. Take yourself out for a coffee, drink, milkshake, whatever, and just try to answer those three questions as best you can to point you into that sweet spot. In a lot of my coaching sessions with people around things this year, it's really clear that fear has stopped us moving forward. And when we're stationary, we actually can't course correct. And there's really no use in a new idea, opportunities, coaching sessions, doing some strength work, doing a new course and getting some new knowledge, if you in yourself have a stationary position. Usually when we are struggling with a lack of professional clarity and direction, it creates fear that shows up in three particular ways. And the first way is we experience movement paralysis. And you can see the picture of the brain there, the lower part of the brain there, which is called the basal ganglion, which is the lizard brain. That's all motivated by pain and pleasure. The next level, the monkey brain, that's reward and punishment. And the top part of the brain is motivated by a sense of intrinsic purpose, of pinging into the future and back and knowing that our life has value and meaning. And we are very meaning-seeking creatures. And so when these three are in alignment, we can do great things. But when we drop down into the lizard brain, we can experience movement paralysis. We just don't know what to do. And so what happens is we end up complaining, blaming, overeating, watching lots of Netflix, being on our smartphone, but none of that stuff actually creates what we really need, which is movement. And the whole idea of finding your professional true north, I like that term because it's about going somewhere. It's about looking for that North Star. It's about doing the work around finding out what it is that really lights you up, what it is that you're really good at, what it is that can pay you well, and what sort of contribution you can have in the community to make you to move forward. The second thing is we give into procrastination. Now, procrastination is a great gift for a short period of time. It can really help us to sort through things. But what happens with procrastination is we end up in double-mindedness as opposed to what we need in this moment, which is single-mindedness. And so what will happen is we'll stumble around looking for answers. We become gunners. We become tomorrow people. I'll do that tomorrow, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. We do a lot of talk, but not a lot of action. And this presentation is really about trying to help you to take that step forward and get some movement so you can course correct as you need to go along. And obviously the last one there, as I mentioned, is we begin to experience purposeless. Now, this starts to get a bit deeper as now we get a sense that our value as a person, even our identity comes into question of, what are we worth? How valuable are we? What are we doing? And sometimes we can get a bit of dark thoughts coming through there. So what do we need to do? One of the reasons I really like practical working models that focus on improvement is that we can very quickly get us out of the lower brain funk, that lizard brain or that monkey brain. That makes sense. It's simple to have a particular model, and we do not have to take much effort to get a sense of direction. And so I want to talk to you about a model now that's a bit deeper than the sweet spot model that I believe will help you get some movement forward, and so you can really begin to get a sense of what is your professional true north. I really appreciate this model called the Ikigai model. Probably haven't pronounced it correctly. It's about reason for being, and it's a Japanese concept that refers to something that gives a person a sense of purpose and a reason for living. And this is really, really important, particularly in this time of life that we're in right now, is that we need to take some serious time to drill into finding out what is that purpose, what is that calling in my life, what is that professional North Star, what am I going to head towards now? Because that sense of meaningful professional flow in your career is absolutely critical. A lot of people's careers have been totally bombarded, which is why I wanted to do this presentation today, to help you put some practical handles on how to actually take some steps forward. So this model works the same way. You work from the outside in, but it adds that extra component, doesn't it, of what the world needs. And I think that's the key right there, because that unlocks mission, that unlocks vocation, profession, and passion. And as you can see, the middle of this picture, it's like a North Star. You can imagine that star in the sky, and it's sort of calling you and leading you on. But we have to do the work. We have to get that sense of self-awareness to come to the surface and ask ourselves some good questions, and take some time out of the busyness, take some time out of the chaos, and actually ask some of these good questions about ourselves, so that we can begin to create that single-mindedness and get out of a stationary position and begin to step forward. So discovering your professional true north, this is where it gets really practical. It's great to look at this picture and think about it and like it and enjoy it. But without actually action, all the talk and all the words and all the journal writing in the world means absolutely nothing. So I am going to be asking you now to actually do some practical action steps. So you need to get your journal out, a bit of paper, and you might need to pause this video as we go along to answer some of these questions. What do you love to do? I don't know. Well, what are you interested in? Well, I'm not real sure. What lights me up? Oh, I like doing that. I like doing this. I mean, I love going to the speedway. I love motor racing. It really lights me up. But as I drill down into it, what I love about motor racing is it's really about focus. It's really about doing one thing. It's about really, mastering the art of taking this crazy thing that's going fast. And I just love all that sort of sense of self-mastery. But it leads me to other things. And where's the life? In coaching, we talk about where's the life. Life is inviting you. Don't be doing things that drop you down and reduce your energy. No. Spend your life doing the things that you love, that you're interested in. Because when you actually find the things that you're interested in, guess what happens? You actually find other people who are interested in those things too. A lot of people are really lonely out there right now today because they're not identified their interests. People who know what they're interested in begin to hang around other people who are interested in things, and then suddenly you have a community of people who are interested, and it creates a beautiful momentum. What are you good at? What are your strengths, talents, giftings? I believe every person has strengths, talents, and giftings. You may not think you do, but you do. You have skills. I believe every one of us has these things available, but sometimes they're pushed down under fears, insecurity, something our mum and dad said, whatever. I want to encourage you to give yourself permission to discover your strengths, talents, giftings, and those skills that will help you to step forward. What does the community and or world need right now? So get outside of yourself, get off yourself for a time being, and look out. Look out at the problems in the community. Look out at the fields of work that move your heart, that make you go, oh, I want to do something about that. Things that make you angry, things that make you cry, the things that put you into shock. What field of work do you think you could leave a good work and a legacy in, where you could add your interest to, you could add your skills and strengths to, that you could solve problems in those community issues, in those fields of work, whether it be research, whether it be the community, whether it be the music scene, whether it be politics, who cares? If it lights you up and you feel like you can do something about it, then just go for it. And what is going to pay you for all this contribution? See, one of the things I know about finances is that if you do what you're passionate about, if you fine-tune your strengths, your talents, your skills, and become a real specialist and an expert in that thing, if you know what your field of work is and you really know what it is that you're doing to help the community and positively contribute, I tell you, the money comes. It's going to pay you well for your effort and your skills and your expertise. So how well do you want to be paid for living in your true north? It's really important. Some people put money right up there and make it drive them. I don't think that's helpful. I think money is a byproduct that we absolutely need to live well and to give well. So never underestimate the importance of that. Take a moment now, just stop and get your journal out and do some of that work around it. So from the previous exercise, now we want to begin to start narrowing it in and moving it more towards your professional North Star, towards the center of this model. And we want to get some dot points on some one-line statements around what you're passionate about. What is your mission? What's your vocation? What's your profession? You see those other 4 points there. And write in one sentence, what are you passionate about now? If you think about those 4 questions, what is the passion that's coming to the surface for you? What is your mission? Maybe come up with 5 mission objectives that you want to achieve in the next 12 to 24 to 36 months. What's your vocation? That vocation is something that's tugging on your heart, that's really pulling you in, something in the community that moves your heart to action. What is the calling? What is it that's inviting you in to participate in, to use your passion, to use your interests, gifts, skills, talents to make a positive difference? And my profession, that's about really getting clear about that field of work. It's about saying, well, what field of work am I going to invest my life in for a period of time? Is it science field? Is it the musical area? Is it personal professional development space? Is it in the government space? Is it in music? Is it hospitality? Is it running a small business? I don't know what it is for you, but you can find this out. And so obviously with all this writing, it is of no point unless we actually put practical action steps to it. A plane is not a plane unless it's got movement and momentum and in the air. The laws of aerodynamics do not even come into play unless there's practical momentum and action. Same with a ship. It might be safest in the harbour, but it was never designed for the harbour. It was designed to be moving and the rudder steering it and the engines pushing it forward and it to be exploring. And so our lives are meant to be like that. So take some time to look at some small steps forward. What are 3 things you can do that will actually begin to put into play your passion, your mission, your vocation, your profession? And what are some people around you who are doing that? Maybe a mentor you need to call up, a group of people, so that you can hang around people who are in this interest group and help you to continue to have that momentum that you need. So please get moving now. If you would like the free worksheet that goes along with this presentation, please send me an email at matt@levelnextleadership.com and I'll send it out to you. Lots of other things there on my website, www.levelnextleadership.com. I'd love to help you out any way I can. All the best to you. Take good care of yourself in 22.